Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, March 28th, and of course, normally I'm reviewing horror or thriller novels, but in the past, I've done a couple videos on going to school for industrial organizational psychology, answering kind of questions you all had, types of jobs that are out there, and I'll have those linked down below, so I've already done videos on those topics. But for a long time, I've thought about doing a work day in the life, but I just didn't know how interesting it would be because with COVID, working from home, we can go into the office, but no one on my team does, so I'm still working from home. I just didn't know how interesting it would be because I can't really show my computer or emails that I'm sending because it's confidential to clients, but I thought, let's just go ahead and try it and take a stab at it, because if I was considering going to school for this, or if I was in school, I would want to see a video like this, and I don't really see videos like this on YouTube. So again, a lot of questions you might have will probably be in those videos, but I will just explain my job briefly. So I got my master's in industrial organizational psychology, and then I worked at one company for about 3 years, and I've been at my current company for a little over a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I've mentioned this in past videos, for privacy reasons, I don't say the company I work for or my specific job title, but I will just say that I'm a consultant and I work in learning and development. And I see on TikTok a lot of people joking about, everyone says, so many people say that they're a consultant, but what does that actually even mean? And the easiest way to think of it is you can be many different kinds of a consultant. Again, I'm a learning and development consultant, but the simplest way to think of it is I work for a company and other companies pay our company for our services to help them with their organization. So I have a bunch of clients in sort of the city area that I live in, and I help them when they have communication challenges, with personality assessments, with facilitating workshops, all that kind of stuff. And again, we'll get more into that when I start getting into my actual work day. But my job, even though I don't work in what people would stereotypically think of HR, my job does fall within sort of the giant umbrella category of HR. Again, it's Monday morning. It's about 9:30 right now. I started working at about 8:30, and I try and block off Monday mornings for about 2 hours to just catch up on emails and anything that's come through over the weekend. And once I've done that for a little bit, I'll go ahead and move over to my desk setup. I like to always start off on the couch and kind of take it easy. And then I will go ahead and show you my calendar and what meetings I'm gonna have today. It's time to make the always difficult switch from my couch to my work desk. So this is my desk setup, which I'm really, really happy about. This table, which looks really, really fancy, I think, and I guess it is. I was very kindly just given by one of my parents' friends. They were moving and they'd had it for years. And obviously, I love old antiques, so happy with this. Oh, I always like to keep my work background something to do with space, because if I'm ever stressed, if a client's ever being rude to me, I just look at this and I remind myself, none of this matters. It is not a big deal. So it is almost 10:30, which means it's about time for my bi-weekly one-on-one with my manager, where we just catch up on what I'm doing and I ask her any questions about client issues that I might need help from her with. And I'm really lucky in this sense because my manager used to be in my exact job and then she got promoted. And of course, then they ended up hiring me. So I'm really lucky in that sense to have a manager who's done my own job, because I don't think that's the case for many people. Let's also ignore this and this, although now I'm drawing attention to it. The self-tanning last night did not go well. I always put some in my moisturizer and I clearly did not spread it out evenly. And I forgot to say this, she also has a master's in industrial organizational psychology. You don't need a degree in that to do my specific job, but it definitely helps and lends itself to the role. But one thing I wanted to mention is the title of this video, and I think this is really important to know if you're gonna get your degree in IO psychology. Some of my friends from grad school are subscribed to my channel, and if this title pops up, they'll probably laugh at the title of the video because none of us call ourselves industrial organizational psychologists. If I was ever at a party, meeting someone for the first time, I would never say, if they ask me what I do for a living, I typically would never say, oh, I'm an industrial organizational psychologist. And I talked about this more in the videos I'll have linked down below, but it's different than other degrees where, say, One of my best friends, Caitlin, is an accountant. She went to school for accounting and she says, "Hi, I'm Caitlin, I'm an accountant." There are so many different types of jobs that you can get with an IO psychology degree. And again, I've talked about that in my past videos. And it's rare that the job title is industrial organizational psychologist. So just wanted to put that out there, but I'm making it the title of this video simply because if someone's going to school to get this degree, it'll make it a little bit more likely that when they search, this video will pop up. I've just put, my headset in, got all ready for the call, and I'm looking at my calendar again. And as you can see here, it's definitely at 11 a.m., not 10:30. So I'm going to go back to the couch. And I think what I'll do is I'll show my calendar, but just black out any client names or anything confidential like that. It's about 12:30, so I'm just right across the street from Chipotle and I'm gonna go grab lunch quick. I've been trying this thing where only on Mondays I allow myself to go grab lunch because no one likes Mondays and it's a little bit of a treat to myself. I wanted to show quick what I'm gonna use when I go purchase the food. But this is my new wallet, which I think is so cool. And so the way you get your cards out is clicking this little button here, and then they all pop up in order, so they're really easy to find and grab. And I think it has been, I could be wrong, I think it's been over a year since I've been shown something that I was sent for a review, because I really only like to show things if it's something that I know with 100% certainty I would go out and purchase myself. And after using this for a month, I can say that it is completely worth it. And if for whatever reason I needed to buy another one, I really would go back and repurchase it. But this is from the brand Extra. I'll have it linked down below. And what I have is the aluminum card holder in green ore. It also blocks wireless threat. And just as a comparison, and the reason, before they reached out to me, I swear 2 weeks before they reached out, I had been Googling for something just like this. So the stars really aligned when they reached out. But this is what I've been using for, I think, 2 years. You can see how big it is in comparison to this. That just shows how small this is. But I hate that awkwardness of when you're waiting in line and you're trying to search through your wallet, trying to find all your cards and the one you're specifically looking for, and it just makes it so easy. You can fit 6 there when you push the button, and then if you have extra cards you need, you can put them in the back here. It sounds so strange, and maybe this is just a sign of getting older. I'm 30 this year. This has been so exciting to me, and I genuinely get excited every time I need to kind of open it up and use it. And I will just say up front, this is not sponsored, but just for transparency's sake, the link down below is an affiliate link if you decide to use it. I have a couple minutes before my 1 p.m. call, and I'll talk about that after it ends. But I wanted to say quickly that if you are not part of our horror book discussion Discord group, I'll have it linked down below. But for the first time, we're doing a spring book selection, and the 2 that won for the top votes are Sundial and Devil House. And the book discussion channels are up for the different chapters, so you're welcome to go ahead and join via the link down below if you want to discuss either book. So I just wrapped up my 1 p.m. call, and I thought that this was a perfect one to talk about if you're interested in IO psychology, because having a needs analysis is one of the most common things you would be doing depending on the type of job you get into after school. And a needs analysis, I mean, you can Google and learn more about it and find questions that you would ask, but it's essentially a call where I am talking with the client to try and learn about what's going on internally, and just by it sounds, by the name, try and figure out what their needs are. Now, you could have a needs analysis in a lot of different fields, but within the org psych world, the needs analysis is typically looking at what culture needs are there, what learning and development needs are there, what engagement needs are there. And one of the most common things that has been coming out of these calls recently is a lot of discussion about virtual culture. I think that the podcast is called Work Life with Adam Grant. I forget, I'll put the image here, but he's an organizational psychologist and he's awesome. And he has a really great episode on remote culture. And one of the most common things we've been seeing across the board from our clients is a lot of them are really wanting, when we talk with the CEOs or presidents, they really want to bring people back to the office, and we're trying to convince them is that if you force people back 4 to 5 days a week, they will quit, which I think to many of you, I'm sure sounds very obvious, but it's not obvious to a lot of them. So we've been having a lot of engagement and remote work surveys to just try and get them to see how the employees are feeling and, getting their voices heard. And then for our clients who do choose to stay remote, we've been having a lot of conversations. And this is the reason I'm bringing this one up, is because this is what the call at 1 p.m., what came out of that. They have decided to stay remote. They're a tech company, but they've been finding that especially for their new hires, they're not feeling as engaged and as part of the culture. There's also been a little bit of communication challenges with people just having a little bit more maybe conflict than normal because they're misinterpreting tone over email and IMs. So nothing huge and serious. I actually really love these conversations, and I think they're some of my favorite ones to have. But yeah, I've got to wrap up quick because now I have my 2 p.m. call. So it is 3:30 p.m. and I just got off of my 2 p.m. call. That one was focused on manager training for a client, and the robe's back on because my calls are over. I just live in this thing and I am feeling pretty burnt out. It was just the 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. calls back to back were me specifically leading the call with the client. So they weren't really ones I could just sit back and kind of take in information. And for an introvert, I have to say this job is a lot of talking to people. Of course, for IO psychology, you could have roles that are much more data focused, more focused on the statistics side. And for that, you wouldn't maybe be on Zoom calls all day, but today I had 3 Zoom calls, which was a lighter day for me. Normally I would have 4 to 5 and then trying to squeeze in getting actual work done outside of those Zoom calls. But as I said, the last call I was on manager or leadership development, which is a big part of organizational psychology. And we basically have a client who has a group of kind of new managers and a group of managers who've been managing for 20 plus years. They've switched it to fully remote, but they're really just trying to get all the managers up to speed on both the interpersonal skill side of being a manager and coaching your employees and making sure you're caring for their personal and practical needs. But then they also want to get them up to speed on kind of those more HR compliance side of things. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, I'm going to have linked below the past videos I've done on IO psychology, but please don't hesitate to shoot me a message down below or comment if you have any questions. And I will say, if you are coming across this video maybe a month down the road, I don't look at comments of old videos. So if you did have any follow-up questions later on down the road, feel free to shoot me an email. But if it's right when I'm posting this or a week after, feel free to leave me a comment below. Again, I hope that this was interesting. I love seeing what people's work days are. So hope that this was fun and helpful to those of you who are thinking about pursuing IO Psych, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.